First of all, y'all rock. Love you ladies a lot. So stoked to be your youth pastor. Um, but really, if there's one thing I wanted you guys to take away, and just want you to know is just that how beautiful you all are. And I don't mean just like the physical appearance and what you look like on the outside, but the inside, like your hearts um, are precious and so very precious in the sight of the Lord. And as I've gone through and dated, gone on and date in my dating life and even in my marriage life, that the heart of a woman is one of the most beautiful things that I get to discover in my own marriage. And that's something that I want you all to understand too, is that um, you are all incredibly beautiful on the inside. And that's just it's another cheesy answer, but there couldn't be anything more true than that.
Well, I think the first place you have to start is what does your family say? What do your parents? What's the agreement that you're being raised under? If there is a green light there, if your parents and family are like, hey, it's okay to go on dates, I don't really think there's anything wrong with that. I do think that it would be very unwise in high school to get serious in any way. I think what it really should be is a very good friendship with a guy, and then allow time to take its place in your life and in that relationship. But to really move quickly or get serious in high school, to me, I've only seen it be destructive and hurtful and painful, rather than what it could be and what it should be is just a great friendship that's fun, that's encouraging, things of that nature.
I'm looking for a girl who has a personal relationship with Jesus. And that is a very important part of her life, the most important part of her life. But also, I love a girl with a sense of humor, and also a girl who is, not too self-conscious, yeah. Who's not too self-conscious, who, is proud of who she is and just likes to be her and can be herself around her friends, around me and her family, and doesn't have to, change that when she's around different kind of people. And it's just cool with being who she is.
If there's one thing I could tell them, it would be simply this, that God loves them and He will care for you. And I think that's the one thing I'd want them to know.
Be different. I think that culture tries to get all the girls, teenagers, young ladies, young adult women to all be alike, look alike, prioritize the same things. And I would say be different. Be different from everybody else. Think about who you are, think about what you believe, think about what you're about, and allow that to define you, and not so much what culture tries to create you to be. And so be different, and when you're different, you're going to stand out. And when you stand out, people are going to take notice. And so that's what I would say.
If everybody's telling you that he's a jerk, he's probably a jerk. And you probably have your blinders on. And that happens a lot because, he has the beautiful long hair and, he could pick you up, or he's really strong. But, man, all that just blinds you from what's really happening. And so I would really, really listen to your friends, listen to your family, even though sometimes it gets so annoying. I understand that. But God has those people in your life for a reason. And don't just neglect them because, yeah, you may say yes to this guy, but what about your family and your friends? They're just going to be like, what the heck? Are we nothing to you? And so respect their authority, especially your parents, and respect your friends. They're not trying to hurt you. They're trying to help you out. So.
Well, what I would say, first of all, is that true? Or is there a reason why your parents don't approve of them? I would because I believe God gives parents insight and wisdom, and if they are questioning the relationship, I would think it would be good for you to give consideration to what they're saying to you as a young lady.
Does modesty matter? Heck yeah. Okay. Classic. This is classic line. Modest is hottest. Like, I think that a girl who values herself is one of the most attractive things a woman can do.
Is not revealing yourself. And so each girl is, I think, made very differently, built very differently, has different aspects about them. And so I think modesty is saying, hey, I am going to keep the most intimate, most important things about me from plain view.
Wrote down a response to that question because I think it's serious enough that it deserves some forethought.
Yeah.
And the response I wrote was this: doing anything that creates a desire that cannot be legitimately fulfilled in the relationship. And I think that's what's too far.
Yeah.
So, you know, as a teenage girl, you might say, well, does that mean I can hold hands? Well, can I kiss my date? Those are good questions for you to ponder. Because what kind of desires is that going to create in the relationship that might not legitimately be fulfilled in the relationship according to God's standard?
Lord has been good to you. For you, O Lord, have delivered my soul from death.
How do you get guys to like you? Well, honestly, I'll go back to my wife, Lisa. The reason why I liked her and I was attracted to her is because of who she was. She wasn't trying to be anybody. She was being who she was. And so I would say to any girl that really wants maybe guys to like her, find her attractive, is to not try to be somebody that you're not, to be who you are, to continually work on who you are, and not try to portray some false image of who you want to be, because I think guys can see right through that, and I don't think that that's attractive in any way.
First response to that question is by accepting yourself. Get guys to like you by accepting yourself, because sometimes we see other people that we say we'd like to be like, and because of that we become insecure in who we are. So I think the first way to get a guy to like me is by accepting myself and realizing that God has made me uniquely, and then as I embrace that truth, simply realize that I can trust Him to bring a person into my life that will appreciate me for who I am.
What frustrates me about women, sometimes girls will ask a question and I'll give them that answer, but then they get really annoyed about it because I was supposed to say something else. And I don't know, that's just weird.
I don't understand why women like to wear high heels. I don't get it. They just spike the ground with their nails, the bottom of their feet. I don't get why women like to go in herds to the bathroom. I don't get that. It's like a social experience. The restroom was never meant to be that. And then also, I don't understand why women like to shop for so long only to buy a few items that they're going to only return the next week. So I don't get that. It seems like a completely worthless and what am I trying to say here? Completely worthless experience. But
Go to the you go to the bathroom impacts. One of the strangest things I've ever seen. Like, I'm just trying to like think of like why would you want to continue your conversation in a public restroom? I mean, I don't know about you, but me and guys we'd want a more private setting if we were going to have a conversation. Yeah.
That they just like to primp. They like to just stand in front of the mirror and fix themselves up. I mean, come on, give us a break.
That was